Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new series on this channel, a channel that I never upload on, called American Dream. This is going to be a theme park built inside of Planet Coaster 2. This is going to be a park inspired by Six Flags Great Escape, as well as Funtown Splashtown, or pretty much any smaller northeastern park, even Canopy Lake Park to some extent, with kind of a Midwest Americana vibe to it. I think it's going to be a really, really fun build. As you can see, I have built so much off camera, not on purpose, because I tried screen recording and clearly it did not go well, as you can see. So let me just get down to ground level here. This is the main entrance. I'm just going to kind of take you through everything. We have a little fountain right here. Up here is a quote. Here is a place where dreams are chased, from the fake founder of the park, James Fields. I just want to take you through everything, show you what I've done so far. Here at the entrance, we could see some staff gates as put into place so that staff doesn't have to cut the line or anything as they're going in and out. We have some scanners right here made out of art shapes. Right here, we have some barriers. These would be put out, let's say the park's really busy, they would be put out to kind of organize the crowd a little bit out front. And here we go into Main Street. This whole area is inspired by Six Flags Great Escape's International Village. All of the buildings in this area are super villagey, kind of more on the whimsical side of things. The fonts are a little bit more wacky than usual in a theme park. Also, we've put some vines and some of the decals on some of these buildings to try to make them look a little bit more aged, make them look a little bit more, built into the park, essentially. Because this park would most likely be built in, the 1960s, 1970s, somewhere around there. This gift shop I do not like. But I'll probably have to change that later. Same thing with the green room. It's just, a green building among all this, red brick is definitely a stretch, and I also need to do an interior. I'm not a big interior person, so interiors are definitely rough for me. But look at these decals. I think it makes the building look so good. There's so much detail with it. I love that. This is the guest services building. But everything's supposed to feel very, very compact. It's not supposed to feel like this big, grandiose Main Street area. If you go to the Great Escape on International Village, which is their entry area, you'll see that. You'll see all how compact it is. Now we're gonna go behind the team member area. This would just be a little backstage area. I should put some more detail into this area, but this is kind of what I have right now. Using the staff path. I love how there's a staff path in the game. My gosh, I keep stuttering. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I wish I recorded building this, but we're just gonna have to go from here because I suck at recording. And we're gonna be working on this in the time lapse. So here we go. I like the look of the carousel on its own, and honestly, leaving it like that would be fine. Just, for realism, most carousels, especially at smaller parks that have older carousels, they definitely have covers to them. So we're going to have to build a carousel cover. Now, for the ground, I'm just doing this dark stamped concrete. I actually think it looks really, really nice. If you go to Six Flags New England, it kind of has a dark stamped concrete pattern on their carousel, which their carousel is really, really old. So it makes sense to have it similar to on this one. The colors, again, sorry, I keep stuttering over my words. It's going to be a very Americana park. So it's going to be super, super red, white, and blue. This park would be built in the 1960s, late 60s, early 70s maybe. I'm thinking probably 1968 this park would have opened. And it would have opened up with maybe one roller coaster, hopefully. And I'm going to be probably building that soon. It's going to be a wooden coaster, probably a pretty large wooden coaster, probably a big out and back Woody. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but as you can see, we're kind of just getting the frame set for the carousel cover. I've actually never built one successfully. I've built a really, really ugly one before. Not to say that this one doesn't turn out ugly. I mean, you can judge me. You can give me your opinion down in the comments, but I don't think it's definitely a carousel cover. It's definitely a cover that could be at a real park. I wouldn't say it is much more than that. There's people out there that can make these beautiful carousel covers, like absolutely gorgeous with like all of these details and everything. I cannot do that. I am not one of those people. So it was a big challenge for me just to get a corrugated roof carousel cover. But we managed to do that, and I think it looks really, really nice in the end. I wanted to do like a white frame on the outside, but I do not end up sticking with that. It just, I don't know, it sticks out too much. And plus, like, this is going to be a very like foresty, very, very treed park. It's going to have a lot of trees in it. And so, having just like straight up white and everything, it really, really stands out, and it doesn't look great. So here, I'm going to change all the colors to gray. And I think, honestly, the gray cover makes a lot more sense. It looks a lot better. Even though like red, white, and blue would be like a good option, I just don't see that as like for the cover specifically, because it's just too big of a structure for it to be like red, white, and blue. I think it's gonna stick out too much. And here you go, you can see I'm trying to make this like corrugated roof, and I think the corrugated roof comes out really, really nice. I've watched people like Geekism and Mass Bandit, and they do stuff like this. Definitely Mass Bandit does, at least. And so I seeing, that little trick and making this corrugated roof is really, really awesome. I wish, honestly, there was like a corrugated roof in the game, at least like a more generic one. They do have ones that are more tropical, I would say. And that's one of my biggest things with this game is like, it's either like too generic or like way overly themed. There's not really like a good balance. Not to say like the pieces that we're given aren't necessarily great, but like when it comes to like fences, right? Like you have like some pretty nice fence options, but what happened to like the chain link fence? What happened to the plain wooden fence that we had in Planet Coaster 1, where you could get that with like the Studios pack? Like those were staples. Like I used those all the time. So just to kind of get rid of them is just so odd to me. Like that made me, when I saw that they weren't in the game, I was just like, really? And if I had to make my own pretty much the entirety of the time. So as you can see, that's kind of like what the cover looks like. That's like pretty much how it looks. I'm kind of just doing this end trim, making that red, making that a smaller portion red, just so we can still get that Americana vibe in there. And then I put this little put this little banner on there to, just kind of add a little bit, like more detail. And I honestly think it looks really nice. And then I just select all the pieces and I bring it around a couple times. And then there we go. We have a carousel cover. And I think it looks really, really good. It's super, super generic. It's super, super basic, but it works perfectly fine. Here's me struggling to find out how to change the exit location. And then now it's time to do the queue line and stuff. So, but man, I think the cover turned out really, really nice. Oh, I forgot because I had to go back and do all the railings again. The pathing system in the new game is amazing. I know I'm kind of like, saying a lot of negative stuff about the game, but it's really a great game. It's fantastic. I love the coaster smoothing. The coaster smoothing is so much better than Planet Coaster 1. And I also love the scenery, at least in terms of like plants and foliage. I think it's a better selection. All of them are recolorable, which I think is awesome. And it just looks amazing. The game looks fantastic. There's so much detail and everything. And again, I already talked about the paths, but man, the pathing is just, oh my gosh. You can make these big plazas. You can really do so much with the paths, and I freaking love it. It's awesome. Here's me kind of just put it. I don't know how I feel about this, like, this rock. I end up going all the way around, like literally all the way around the queue line with it. I'm not sure how I feel about it necessarily. But I don't know. I feel like it fits kind of like the foresty vibe, the very like, wooded park, I feel like it fits the vibe. So I think I'm going to keep it. Plus there's not really many other great fencing options for at least like this specific ride, this area, right? So I do like it to some extent. And I do think like maybe in like the the 60s when this park was built, like they would have put like a stone thing there, a stone fence or a stone like barrier, just to kind of keep people out of the line. But obviously we're building this park in modern times. Like it's this opened in the 60s, but it's been years since then, and now we're kind of renovating, and things have been touched up on. But there's also buildings that look a little bit worn down, like the Professor Fizz's pop shop right next door to where we're building right now. I love those decals. They look really, really good. But yeah, so this is kind of a little seating area. I don't know how I feel about the fence, or sorry, not the fence, like the bush foliage fencing. I don't think a park like this would have that, to be honest with you, at least a park with this budget. So it doesn't really make any sense, but I like it. It kind of looks fine. It doesn't look bad. And then this is just going to be like a little seating area. The tree that I placed down, I'm not the biggest fan of, again, because it's just like the trees that we've used so far have all been pine. So to have something different like that, it's kind of out of place, but it fits that spot so nicely. So I'm going to keep it. Here, I'm trying to play around with the terrain a little bit because I don't want this to be just a perfectly flat park. I do want some like terrain variation. You go to Great Escape in Queensbury, New York, like that park has some big hills and stuff in it, and I really, really like that. So we're going to try to do some terrain, or at least make it just feel a little bit like different in terms of the level of where you're standing, But this is kind of wrapping up the time lapse here. I just kind of put down a couple paths. I don't really do much with this part right here. I put down a couple paths, and we end up putting a Ferris wheel up here, which I don't know if it's going to stay. I do like the Ferris wheel. I do like the Ferris wheel a lot, but I like how it looks in the time. Like, it's not oh my gosh, I keep stuttering. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this. I like how it looks in the skyline. Like that looks amazing. But it's just definitely not my favorite. Plus, I can't get the queue line in there very well. But this is going to be wrapping up the time lapse. I just put a couple trees here, and then we end up calling it a day. So I'll see you in the real-time portion. All right, so we are now back in real time, and I'm like shocked because of the fact that I built that carousel cover. I'm not a skilled builder like that, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I mean, it looks really, really nice. It's super, super generic, but that's exactly like what we need in this park, is that more generic style. I absolutely love that. But it really does look great. And by the way, that rock wall is growing on me. I do really like it. I think it looks really awesome. And I mean, look at that. That just looks fantastic. So I'm really happy how it came out. I think the park is starting to look really, really good. The entry area, I would say, is mostly probably like about 90% complete right now. I love the trees. It's super, super shaded. It's feeling how I want it to feel, very small and quaint and compact. But it really is. It's looking amazing. Again, I'm sorry that I did not get pretty much the entirety of this on video for the first try, because I just suck at doing this. I've never done like gameplay before, so but man, I think this is starting to look really good. And that Ferris wheel placement, damn, it looks good. Wow. So yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe going forward. I'm going to try to do, a couple of these videos going forward, try to keep the series going. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye-bye.